You guys ever heard of a movie called City of God? Probably not. It actually did pretty well at the box office, so maybe you did. What I'm talking about though is how City of God, although known by some people, isn't as well remembered as other films in the hood genre. This thing is a special piece of art that deserves all praise, and it's no coincidence that I upload this video after the Michiko and Hachin video. So let's take a look at City of God. So City of God didn't actually start as a movie. The movie is also an adaptation of a book, also by the name of City of God. The movie was directed by Fernando Meirelles, foreign names, and written by you know what? I don't even know. This is the name. One really cool fact about this movie is that most of the actors who star in it aren't like these amazing actors with experience. Almost everyone in the movie is from the slums in Rio, except for like Mathis Nartigeli, who in his personal life is bisexual. That's literally all it says on the wiki page. The director actually explained that he mostly pulled people from the slums because there was a lack of black actors, as well as he wanted something a little bit more authentic for his movie. I can get what he's saying. Grabbing people who have actually lived in the slums of Rio is a lot better than just having actors. The story of City of God is basically following the life of one guy named Rocket and his experiences throughout the city, aka Rio. He mostly meets up with hoods, gangsters, and little kids and bandits, and just all sorts of people that just populate the city. He also kind of wants to be a journalist, so that makes him a likely candidate to meet all these people. The movie is constructed in a way that makes it feel kind of open. You know when you play a game like GTA or Saints Row and you meet up with these really weird, endearing, or just funny characters? It's kind of like that. We learn and get familiar with all these people, and it doesn't break up the flow of the movie like at all. Even with locations, there's this scene that basically just explains the origins of an apartment building throughout the years, and for some reason it doesn't feel like the movie was just broken up from some irrelevant scene. It's entertaining and it kind of feels natural. This makes the entire city a character in and of itself. The entire thing is just a living, breathing, experiencing thing. The story itself is pretty good, but what really matters is the characters. So the first guy I want to talk about is Rocket. He kind of just goes about his life and events just happen to him. This doesn't mean that he's a bad or uninteresting dude. He just isn't the one who kind of takes charge in these stories. He's just a chill guy trying to become a journalist. Even though he isn't the main driving force, he does do things that kind of illustrate what kind of guy he is, or makes him question whether or not he should be another version of himself. Like for example, there's a montage where he's just like kind of broke, so he wants to start like robbing people, but he kind of can't do it because he feels that most of the people he meets are just people like him, trying to live out their lives. In the movie, it's kind of simple, like he doesn't rob some random dude because he's too cool, but it's kind of clear that to some extent he sees himself in the people that he's trying to rob, and he just doesn't want to do it. Benny is a friend of a gangster called Lil Z, and he's like the coolest dude since the fucking dude. He just kind of doesn't get bent about anything, despite him being a gangster. Benny's story is quite interesting because it basically mirrors his brother's story. Basically, his brother used to be a stick-up man until he got killed trying to escape that life. Benny meets up with a cute girl and attempts to escape that life on the hood, only to be killed, just like his brother. It's just kind of a reminder of what happens in the hood of Rio. Carrot. Oh my god, his name is actually fucking Carrot. Carrot is a rival drug dealer, and he used to be friends with Benny before his death. Despite Carrot being a drug dealer, he isn't really an asshole. Hell, I wouldn't even consider him a bad guy. He doesn't really get into fights, he's there when another important character's family member is killed, and he doesn't like unnecessary killing. You can kind of tell that Carrot isn't the type of guy to just go and do some like fucked up shit. He does some fucked up things in order to survive, and he sees how tyrants who rule over the city with ruthlessness have fucked people over, and he just doesn't want to be that guy. Knockout Ned. Knockout Ned is one of the best examples of the fallen hero trope. In the beginning, Ned is such a nice guy. He used to be in the army and knows a lot about killing, but he chooses just to be a peaceful dude. He doesn't have any ill will towards anyone and just wants to find a way to get out of the city just like everyone else. but the world just won't let him have that. Like every chance we get, we just see Ned basically getting fucking shit on and humiliated by the world. This all accumulates to Lil Z raping his girlfriend in front of him and then killing his brother, and I think that was his uncle, I'm not sure. From that point, he's a man on the mission. He just wants to kill Lil Z and get that shit over with. In the beginning of the mission, he refused to steal or become a hoodlum. He's such a nice guy that he doesn't want to hurt anyone else except Lil Z. But eventually we see the complete downfall of Ned as time goes on. He becomes way less peaceful, more war hungry, and becomes the very thing that he didn't want to become in the end. And this is all done so well. And that's simply because the audience and Ned can agree that Lil Z has to be killed. He's simply too dangerous to be roaming around the place. By the time the movie's coming to a close, we see that Ned, although still on the mission to kill Lil Z, has done things that can be comparable to him in some aspects. And that raises some questions. If Ned did survive the end of the movie, would he have stopped and just left the city? Or would he just continue on to become a drug dealer? Possibly another Lil Z. His story of a fallen hero is probably the best one I've ever seen in a long time. It's even better than Anakin's fall to the dark side in Star Wars. This is the guy I want to get to the entire overview. Lil Z is fucking crazy. People like to say that Palpatine from Star Wars is like the greatest example of evil. Nah, Palpatine, although power hungry and evil, he isn't exactly chaotic. He's a smart guy, he's politically effective, and knows when to back off and just let shit fall into place. Marlo from The Wire, you know, he's kind of bad, he's kind of ruthless, but he's not like an idiot. He doesn't just go like start killing people for no reason. Even though he's kind of sensitive in a way and he kind of just does the same things as him, he kind of has a plan too. The Joker, you know, even though he's an unpredictable motherfucker, he's smart, he knows what's up, he has a grandmaster plan to it all. Lil Z is pure chaotic evil. He is a person who does not care about anyone else except himself and Benny. In the first scene we see him when he's grown up, he's turning 18 years old and he's kind of at this little get together for himself. He asks Benny for who the richest drug dealers are. Benny tells him and he's like, okay, we're gonna kill all of them like right now. And Benny's like, what, you're serious? And he just does it. He just comes in and kills everyone and takes over the business. Like, it's not like he has a plan or some clever shit to pull off to kill them off. He just goes in and massacres the entire competition and then monopolies on it. You know that scene I mentioned about Ned and his girlfriend? Yeah, he did this a day after he humiliated him. And after the rape, he goes like, hey, that's weird, why didn't I just kill that guy? And then he goes back to finish the job. When the store owner complains about children stealing his shit, he goes up to the children and shoots them both in the foot. That makes a kid kill one of them. One of his henchmen is like this annoying guy who idolizes him, and one day after getting shot, the guy annoys him and he just fucking shoots him. He just does this shit with no consideration. Even as a kid, this guy was a psycho. After his friends jack a motel, he goes in and kills everybody in it. And he just like laughs about it. I consider Lil Z to be my favorite villain simply because of how fucking chaotic and evil he is. He just doesn't give a shit. And that's what makes him kind of scary as an antagonist. I find the scariest villains to be the ones who just don't jive with humanity. Like Darth Vader, you can understand at least why he did the things he did. Even with real life villains, with villains like Lil Z, it's way more scary. Nothing made them that way. There's just a force in nature that will do things because they can and they will. Overall, The City of God is one of my favorite movies I've ever seen in my entire life. I first saw this movie on a snowy day when I was like in 9th grade, and I've never regretted watching it. The entire thing is just a wonderful film that does everything almost perfectly. For most movies, I'll go back and watch them like maybe 3 times a year or something. City of God, it's just so good to me that it's almost like I never get tired of it. It's just that flawless of a film that just makes me want to go back and watch it again and again. What do you guys think though? What do you think of The City of God? Leave inside the comments below, and I'll see you guys on the next video, and bye. If you guys enjoyed this video, give it a like, and if you like any more of my content, subscribe.